All right. Okay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Whatever time this video catches you, Lisa Hayes here coming to you in this smoking hot season that we are now living in. I mean, it is like this end times, season is really, it's the most apocalyptic that I've ever experienced in my life. Okay, very. It's smoking hot, in a lot of places too. I've never seen the temperatures so high um, as it is in the South. And the crazy thing is there are places that also in the same nation that are unseasonably cool, where I've heard some people say that they've had to cut their heater on. So you're talking about apocalyptic weather, and we're just at the beginning of it. But like the Lord told his generation, he told his generation when he was bringing in an end to the temple sacrifices, and he told his generation in Matthew the 24th chapter what the signs will be of that coming to an end. He said it was going to be like in the days of Noah. Okay, what happened in the days of Noah? Fallen angels, floods, and now we're now confronted with that issue of fallen angels right now. Wars, rumors of wars, false prophets, false messiahs, protests, riots, all of those things are looming over this nation right now as we speak. Let me slow down a bit, because you can also speak what the apostles told third generation. That's what he told the apostles. But the apostles told third generation, he said that in the last days, okay, the Lord is going to pour out his spirit, okay, and young men and your sons and daughters will prophesy, and men and women will prophesy, and that young men will dream dreams. I mean, old men will dream dreams, young men will see visions, and there will also be signs in the sun, there will be signs in the moon, all these things. There's a lot of things or a lot of events that happen during the end times. Now, politically speaking, so you can also speak that over yourself as well. This generation can speak what the Lord is saying prophetically. That's what you have going for yourself by decree. Okay, decree a thing, right, according to the will of the Lord, or that he's spoken over you, because the world is about to live according to executive orders. And so if they put executive orders in place, you're going to have to know the will of God for yourself, because their executive orders is to actually confront what God's saying, what God's really saying to be true, to take you into this trance world that we are now facing, okay? That we are now facing. But speaking politically speaking, okay, uh, I put a post up a couple of weeks ago about Lyndon Johnson saying that he would have black Americans voting Democrat for 200 years, for the next 200 years. And he said the N word though. And I'm like, what would give him the boldness to say something like this, until I had a chance to take a real good look at that. But just like Margaret Sanger did, okay, just like Margaret Sanger did, he they used a black pastor. Dr. King taught him. Dr. King even received a Margaret Sanger award, because he did exactly what he taught Lyndon Johnson, exactly what Margaret Sanger done. Okay, now he realized the error of his ways, and he knew that they was going to take his life, and they did after he did that. But he told him to talk to the black pastors. One thing about Black America do not have political power. That is all an illusion. Black America has spiritual power. So that's why they go and talk to the leaders to sway the people to vote that way. And so up until then, Black people voted Republican, but it was to this nation's advantage politically to split the Blacks up, to go Democrat, go left, okay? Send them into the beast system first, okay? And so we have political power, and a lot of people are just waking up to this. I know a lot of, and they say, well, she's lying. She don't know what she's talking about. Wait till they wake up, the Democratic pastors, and you will see what I'm talking, exactly what I'm talking about. Because Black people do not have political power. We have spiritual power, okay? And so on the spiritual front, on a spiritual front, they know that they can go and talk to pastors to push this agenda. But it's a very tricky thing right now because it's like there's like a knife at the throat of these pastors that continue to play this system, okay, and be a part of this system, which is Mystery Babylon, pulling all the strings in the background, continue to be a part of this system. It's the end time, and all the political leaders that put this system in place. How do you think a politician can stay in office for 50 years? You really seriously think they've been voted in 50 years? For real, for real. It's because they decided to go with the agenda of the world. That's because they get to stay where they are. That's how this system works. hmm So even Lyndon Johnson was living in that counterfeit system when they took out JFK and they put him in his place because of what JFK was going to say. And so they got rid of JFK, put Lyndon Johnson there, a puppet politician. Okay. And so, how do you know what I'm saying is true? When was the last time that you paid for a politician? If you have not paid for a politician, you do not have political power. When was the last time Black people paid for a politician? If you have not paid for a politician, you do not have political power, but you do have prayer. You do have prayer. So they've used, and I've been a part of this system as well too. So I'm not trying to tell anybody how to vote, who to go vote for. I'm just telling you how the system is working, how the system works. And now we're at the end of this era. And everybody who played a part at the end of this era, that's why they gave gave Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton the term reverend, okay, because they knew that worked on the Black community. They knew that was something that worked on the Black community. But now that a lot of them are at the end of the system, we're at the end of a thing, okay? Because this is what the prophet Daniel was told. He said, at the end of the roll up and seal up the prophecy, because the end time, Satan uh, works through flattery, through deceit, through intrigue, and it's very, very, very familiar to us that it's almost like idolatry in our midst. Okay, it's idolatry. So it's like this person is flattering, this person is very presidential, this person is very diplomatic, but did you pay for that person to be there? He told him to seal up the prophecy until the end. And so in the end time, the truth is revealed for what it is. And that is to correct the people who really, that is to correct the error of our ways. And it's like, oh Lord, I didn't see it that way. That is to correct the error of our ways. That's it. So many will be straightened out. Many will come out of the dark and shine again in the light. So this is not to say, you know, there this is the end, but those who continue to live with this system as if this system is the system of the Lord, even the conservative pastors that's pushing the rapture. That's no, that's game. That's part of the political system as well too. That came out of the Catholic Church, which is a pagan religion. They pray to Mary. That's Rome shape shifting into a religion. It is a front for darkness. The doctrine of the rapture came from there. And no alien abduction either. Because you will see these end time events. Death is still one per person. It is, in the Lord's salvation is from generation to generation. So let me get back to um, what Lyndon Johnson said. Let me get back to that because that's what have Black America on a collision course, because Black America has spiritual authority that takes the rest of the country, okay, to go in the direction of extreme liberalism. That's why they put Ketanji Jackson up there as a Supreme Court ruler, said she didn't know what a woman was because of taking America into to be a goat nation, because A GOAT nation is a trans society. It is a trans society. So who did they use to say marriage, a gay marriage, okay, was between the same sex? Barack Obama. And then they use his wife because they go on with the system. They reject the God of the Bible. They use the system. They're going with the system. In order to be successful in Mystery Babylon, in the devil's kingdom, sorry about that, in the devil's kingdom, you have to go along with the agenda. You have to go along with the agenda. And so part of the agenda is to turn this nation into a trans nation, which will be a GOAT nation. They had his wife interviewing, and it was so subtle and so nicely interviewing a little boy as a little girl. That's why they got it. So Trump comes along, who was a pause in the cause of all this madness that America is now going into. Okay, just wait till they try to wake up the Democratic pastors. Oh my God, have mercy, Lord. Because, anyway, I'll get to that in a second. So Trump comes along. That puts a pause in this radical runaway agenda that we are now seeing. And so when 2020 comes along, they take the election because Trump proved that he was not going to go along with their agenda. And I said, this is how you're going to know that we're living in a counterfeit world. Sudden death, because the kingdom of darkness, after they said he did not win it, the kingdom of darkness is built on kill, steal, and destroy. And you can see that happening right now because they're destroying his character in the news because nobody can beat him for real. And I'm not telling you how to go vote and who to go vote for. But this system is to take America into being a GOAT nation, mixing DNA, okay, as it was in the day of Noah, mixing DNA, okay? And so when they took that, the sign that this was a counterfeit system was sudden death. When 2020, now Trump cannot, if he want to get the crown the Lord wants to give him, he cannot ride the system of Mystery Babylon. He just cannot. That is not the Lord's system. That is not the Lord's system at all. He cannot ride the system of Mystery Babylon because it take a king to make a king. And the Lord wants to give him a crown. I don't know who his spiritual advisor is, but he cannot do that. And no, I'm not going into civil war over none of this. But he won the 2020 election. The sign was sudden death, and sudden death is still calculating. Okay, watch the death rate and inflation rate. Watch them go up. So then you see we get into 2024, which is going to be berserk, bananas, banana republic, just ugly, full-fledged deception. No one can really beat him. No one can really beat this man. But the person who goes along with this trans agenda, that's the person they will give the presidency to. In the sign that he won and that he's going to win 2024. I'm not saying they'll give it to him as much as I'm telling you the sign is civil war. I'm not going to get what I want if I don't have this politician in office. Well, what if they steal it? What do you have? The decree. What did God decree? What did the Lord speak over you? What is the prophetic word of the Lord? That is what you still have. So no, I'm not riding if they steal another election. I'm not going into a civil war. I'm not fighting over none of this. No, we're at the end of this age of civil rights. Civil rights was always meant to be gay rights. That is the man who wrote Dr. King's speeches was the gay man. And grown people can do whatever they want to do. I'm just telling you the facts of what happened. That was always gay rights. So now we're in Pride Month, and it totally overshadowed civil rights. What do you call that? Juneteenth. Everything it just overpowered that. It was like it wasn't even an event for real. Okay. Pride month it's all month long. That, and so then they weaved in the trans society, the transgenderism. I mean, when I saw that happening on the White House lawn, I'm like, okay. And so they don't beef it up in the news because it's a part of the agenda. You'll just look up one day and say, how did we get here? Through intrigue, through flattery, through your idols, through your generational idols is how you got there. This person is presidential. This person is politically correct. But what is their agenda? What is their foreign policy? What are they doing going around the world telling people to push this trans agenda? What is all this about? Because the new world order is a gay world order. Why? That is the fastest way to get to the trans society. That is the fastest way to get to the mixing of DNA, like the Lord told his generation. As it was in the days of Noah, this is what you're going to see. The mixing of DNA. And so when John the Revelator describes the beast in Revelations, the 13th chapter, in the second verse, he tells them he sees a mouth of a lion, he sees the feet of a bear, and he sees the legs of a leopard. A man described that way. All trans out. That is the image that Satan wants to completely destroy man to look like, or a robot with the rise of AI. So when they say do not take the mark of the beast, they're telling you you're no longer a soul. You're no longer redeemable because you've mixed all these DNAs. You're no longer redeemable as it was in the days of Noah. Noah had pure DNA. He was purely a man. He was not a perfect man. He had him a whole lot of wine when he got off that boat. So, but I'm just he was perfect in his generation because he was not mixed. Him and his family were not mixed with different seeds. But that's where this thing is headed. And the people who continue to stand, it's like it's like there's a knife, not a physical knife, at the throat of people pushing this liberal agenda to say that they're speaking on behalf of Christ. Sudden death is still part of it. And we're not going to believe the people that he allowed to leave here the way that they're going to leave here because of it. I mean, in his sovereignty, everybody has a part to play in this, in his apocalyptic war. But politically speaking, it is going to be shock and awe. That's the only way I can describe it. Shock and awe. I'm watching how, once again, how they are using, and look, they're using, white people too, because like I said, the rapture is a part of the political system. So when you see them Zionist pastors get up there talking that, and Russia this and Russia that, and how people are going to be raptured up, then they're going to bring in an antichrist. All that is the system of Babylon at work. And so they're going to tell you, you're going to be raptured out of here. This is what the Lord says. This is what he told Ezekiel. If the rapture is still in your heart, and you go to the Lord and tell him, you go to the Lord and you still have the rapture in your heart as an idol, he says this is what he's going to do. This is what he's going to do. And you go before him and you want a word from the Lord from him with that, about that, and the rapture is an idol in your heart, he is going to answer you according to your idol. That's what he said. So death is one per person. You got to sober up at this moment and know, no more saying, because this person is not in office, I'm not going to have this, I'm not going to have that. You have to go by what the Lord decreed, because the world is going to start living This government is going to start living just by strictly executive order. Strictly executive order. So, so what does the Lord live by? By his strictly by what he decrees. It's greater than what the world is doing. Yes, and it's gonna be some heats. Yeah, you're gonna have to go through some heat and endure some heats. But look, you got the prophetic word of the Lord. If you got the prophetic word of the Lord, you're gonna have to just endure that and say, "This is what He said. This is all I have. This is what He told me. This is what He said." Because if they use Black America to be so aggravated at a candidate who actually he's going to win. There's no way he cannot win other than he's going to win. The thing is, they don't have to give him the election. They don't, because the new world order is is to lead up to the trans society. And if he's not going to go for that, they are not going to give it. There's not enough people awake enough to see this for what it is. They're not going to give it to him. Okay. If there's not enough people that is awake, he's already proven that he's not going to go for the new world order by pushing a trans society on the next generation. He says that he's not going to do that. So what they have to do now? Destroy his character. That's what they're trying to do now. Destroy him, destroy his life, destroy his finances, destroy his family. That's how Mystery Babylon operate in our midst, pulling the strings in the background. And so they're also making Black America so aggravated who they've used pastors to control the vote with, which that's, ooh, have mercy, Lord. Have mercy. To control the vote with, if they make Black America so angry and aggravated by looking at him and drumming him up to be the worst person ever on earth, they will go right into the system of the Antichrist. Right away. In prison. Imprisoned by that system. It's already happening. When I look at the people that they're putting in place to push this agenda, Black women. Ketanji Brown, Supreme Court Justice, I don't know what a woman is. The women that they have leading in these gender study things and they're bringing before Congress are Black women, and Congress know that these gender studies have been approved by the government to go into the schools, and so they're making a mockery of these women to say, oh yeah, she solidly believe these lies. So, okay, so they got it in for Black America. Well, the rest of Black America is going to go into the system first and take everybody else into this goat nation, and we're going to show ourselves as superior. The problem is, what you plant will grow back. Your grandkids and your other grandkids, children's children, are going to have to deal with the same fate that you tried to put on Black America. We would not serve a just God if he let people get by with this type of evil. And it comes off as nicely. And Congress knows left and right that these things exist. And they know that the Black women are going to champion this lie. The ones that they choose. They know that they're going to champion this lie. And so they're parading it for all the world to see, mock at them, knowing that this is a big fat lie. But they're testing Black women. They bring them before Congress and say, okay, so you believe that there are several genders. And they're just, this is a mockery. It is an absolute mockery. Both sides are playing mockery. It is. None of this is the Lord's system. None of it is the Lord's system. This is the system of the world that they put in place. And so now we're getting ready to see a revolution. This political season is going to be very revolutionary, and I'm just telling you, the protests are going to be dangerous and deadly. Please do not, if you do not have an army the size of heaven, do not engage in that, in civil war, because your government incites civil war. Your government incite a violent protest. That's how that goes. That's how this system works. Decree the word of the Lord. Decree the word of the Lord. and you can warn some people, but you cannot control what people do and how they vote and who they vote for and who they going for, and whatever lie they tell you is going to happen. But like I said before, death and inflation. That's how you're going to know you're living in a counterfeit society. The kingdom of darkness is built on kill, steal, and destroy. The kingdom of God is built on, what did he say prophetically to you? If you go to him with idols in your heart, he said, first of all, he said he will pour out his spirit. He will let you know by his spirit. But if you go to him with idols in your heart about what the end time should be or what they should look like or what should be happening, he is going to answer you about that. And you are already held captive by the next system, and you're going to be angry and engaging in civil war to say, well, I'm not going to get what I want to get out of the political system, which you probably didn't pay for a politician, no way. This has to go my way, and so I'm going to go fight for it. That is going to be a bloody day when that happens. That is going to be a very bloody day when that happens. And so when the civil war is going on and world war come here on our gate, on our soil, know that the Lord is here. Know that the Lord is not unaware or are surprised by any of this. Because when the world think they've gotten away with the system once again, here come world war. No, 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 no. Righteousness. Righteousness, true righteousness, you're going to understand what that is for real. No, 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 no. But once again, black people don't have political power. That's all an illusion. Black people have spiritual power. Yes, we do. That's why they went to some of the pastors, a lot of the black pastors, to do that. And some are waking up. So don't look, I was in it. I looked at it. People are still angry at me because of it, but that's the system. That's how that works. And you coming out, look, coming out of the dark is not always easy, but my God is peaceful. Coming out of the dark is not always easy, but it is very, very peaceful. God bless, and I will talk with you soon.